What if I told you there's a worldwide conspiracy that you never heard of? What if I told you the powers that be want to control everything you say, think, or do? What if I told you birds aren't real? It might sound crazy, but the more you look into this truther theory, the more you begin to question everything you know. At its core, this is about the oppression of ordinary Americans. But this is not a uniquely American issue. It's a conspiracy that runs right back to the deep state, offering at least some explanation of what really happens in Area 51, and a campaign on a scale that has never been seen before, calling millions, if not billions of birds, and replacing them with mechanical doppelgangers created to spy on US citizens, and a cover-up that has left everyone ignorant of this horrible, tragic truth. This is the story of how US national security have been lying to us all, how they are using drones disguised as birds to track innocent people, and the movement trying to tell everyone about it, even if they are branded as trolls or even insane. There is something going on. Let's get to the bottom of it and see where the rabbit hole leads. What exactly is the history here? That this cover-up dates back almost 60 years. It dates back to the early days of the CIA. It had been formed in 1947 in the aftermath of the Second World War due to political paranoia about the threats posed by communism. They started spying on people suspected of being communists, and that much is widely known. However, things began to ramp up and became far more secretive when Allen Dulles became the head of the CIA in 1953 and decided to step up surveillance of ordinary citizens. What better way to surveil people from above than to replace birds with drones, fitted with nano cameras, equipped to watch over everyone and everything under the guise to keep everyone safe. And it wasn't just some birds. Dulles wanted to replace all birds with drones, every single one. I know this may seem like a conspiracy theory. However, sometimes when things are this crazy, they often end up being true. After all, who would even make up a story like this? Black Mirror had an episode about drones as bees. But remember, reality is always stranger than fiction. In the 50s, Dulles put together funding and ordered a fleet of custom B-52 bombers to be secretly built in Area 51. A group of 23 engineers from Boeing were given the task of designing a new version of the B-52 bomber, known as the B-52B. This version featured modifications, such as replacing bomb compartments with 450-gallon tanks, but the tanks didn't contain water. It was used for something more sinister, dispensing poison that was fatal to birds. Once the tanks were integrated into each other, a sophisticated system of radar and tracking technology was installed. This technology enabled the crew to detect and track large flocks of birds from considerable distances, facilitating their targeted eradication. This led to a mass extinction. Where it gets really crazy is the lengths they went to ensure stealth during operations. Each bomber was coated with 5 layers of jet black paint to blend into the night sky. Additionally, all external lights were removed, and engines were fitted with experimental noise reduction pads, allowing the aircraft to operate silently at high altitudes, going about their business of quietly slaughtering billions of birds. Bioengineers then developed a poison that would only affect birds. And after 2 years of construction, the 120 bombers were ready for deployment. On Dulles' orders, the bombers were utilized to spray specially formulated bird poison from an altitude of 8,000 feet. The poison was designed to dissolve before reaching the ground, ensuring only birds were affected. The operation was initially codenamed Water the Country, and later renamed Operation Very Large Bird to conceal its true nature. To me, the first name was far less on the nose. I know what you're asking. If this is true, why didn't we notice billions of dead birds? I had the same thought. There were signs. But if the birds were killed in the right geographical places, and the poison helped speed up the already rapid decay of bird carcasses, including their mostly hollow bones, it wouldn't be that hard to hide this from us all, and cleanup teams were dispatched to make sure the cover-up was maintained. This program was so secretive that only select individuals within the CIA were aware of the operation's objectives. The pilots didn't even know. They were misled about their operation, being told they were watering the trees and grass of the entire country. Then, there's the small matter of these futuristic drones, disguised as birds. The drones were marvels of engineering, meticulously crafted to mirror the appearance of their natural counterparts. With lifelike feathers, wings, and beaks, they seamlessly blended into their surroundings, evading detection with ease. These birds harbored a hidden arsenal of surveillance equipment concealed within their frames. Miniature cameras, microphones, and sensors, all integrated, allowing them to discreetly gather audio and video footage without raising suspicion. Their flight capabilities were equally impressive, navigating the skies with silent precision, similar to real birds. Mimicking natural flight patterns, they soared and continue to soar, executing covert surveillance missions with grace. Of course, not all drones are created equal. You have different types, such as crows. Crows are some of the most sophisticated drones, known for their cunning wit and intelligence. I mean, just look at this video. But warning, the following footage may be disturbing. For mass surveillance, you of course have pigeons. If you think getting pooped on is good luck, it's actually a tracking device, giving the government your exact movement and location for attacking and crowd control. You have birds like hawks and eagles, perfected killing machines. Sometimes they don't even try to hide it, using drones like the Predator. No, the other one. It's like they're laughing in our faces, because they are. You see, these avian spies are sophisticated communicators, relaying their gathered intelligence back to a central command hub. Remote controls mean operators can control their movements if needed, ensuring optimal surveillance coverage. The matter of how these drones are powered is a sticking point for some, but we know the government had access to advanced energy sources, thanks to big-brained people like Nikola Tesla. This means that birds can sustain extended flights autonomously and for long stretches, minimizing the need for frequent recharging. Their integration into the environment was flawless, mimicking the behavior of real birds by perching on branches, roosting on trees, and foraging, which of course they do not need. It's all for cover. By blending seamlessly into the backdrop of everyday life, these robotic agents fulfill their mission undetected, silently watching and listening, their presence concealed beneath the guise of nature.
I consider myself to be an average American. I wake up in the morning, wash my car, and I have an avid disbelief in avian beings.
As with all great conspiracies, the start of the thread was pulled loose by a hero, a whistleblower who put their neck on the line to try and bring the truth to the world. Rumored to be a former government insider, they came forward with revelations about this covert government program. He was given the nickname Stool Pigeon. This whistleblower alleged the government had been conducting this program to replace real birds with their robotic counterparts since the 1950s and 60s, and claimed that John F. Kennedy was against the program, but couldn't stop it. Maybe everything here is actually connected, and this is part of what led to his assassination, but that's a story for another time. The whistleblower's claims were given to journalist Peter McIndoe, who published them online, forming the Birds Aren't Real movement in the process. These wild and terrifying claims began to gain attention online, particularly within conspiracy theory circles. The group have begun holding large protests, and the turnout shows just how much traction this theory is getting. As more people become intrigued by the idea, the movement began to form around McIndoe and the concept that birds aren't real. In 2019, a billboard proclaiming birds aren't real appeared in Memphis, Tennessee, catching the attention of the city. Supporters have since taken to the streets with signs bearing the same message. In 2021, demonstrations outside Twitter's San Francisco headquarters called for a change in the company's bird logo, feeling the company was somehow embroiled in the conspiracy. Strange how Elon Musk has since changed the name and logo of Twitter. Coincidence? I think not. MSNBC reported in the same year, the movement boasted hundreds of thousands of members, indicating its widespread reach and impact. Even scientists have come out backing the movement after the overwhelming evidence. During a 2019 interview with WREG TV, McIndoe employed a tactic of both sidesism to advocate for birds aren't real, expressing offense at being questioned about the movement's satirical nature. He argued that such skepticism wouldn't be directed toward the opposing view that birds are in fact real.
So this is really satire. I mean, you don't really believe that that happened, correct? This is a satirical campaign to make the point that what? You're looking at me like, no, it's not satire. I really do believe this.
Honestly, it's kind of offensive.
Okay.
However, on January 6, 2002, during a live TV interview with Chicago-based WGN9, McIndoe suddenly vomited.
Thank you so much for having me.
So are there people that find your account and think that it's real?
You know, a lot of people that find our social media accounts and see a different side of Gen Z in America. Gen Z is full of some amazing men, women, and children that are aiming to change. And I think that is, just what our movement's all about.
Conspiracy theories? Why conspiracy theories? Why?
I'm so nervous, I'm so sorry.
Prompting speculation of poisoning by the CIA. Adweek characterized the incident as an apparent prank, while McIndoe dismissed it as a hit job. McIndoe has stated that people just don't want to believe. People think this is some sort of troll or April Fool's joke, that McIndoe made it up. But the reality isn't that what they would want you to think? To silence the person that knows their dirty secret. McIndoe has since been speculated to have been compromised and forced to suggest the whole thing was done in satire, as a harmless joke. But McIndoe himself has accused the government of using deepfakes and AI to tarnish his credibility and movement.
Deep fakes do not work as well in dark light. So as you can see, these pixels here, proof we got them.
But the more I researched this movement and the history behind it, the more it begins to feel like the man who tried to release the truth, that the US government has been spying on its people for over 60 years by replacing the birds in the sky with drones. The more it feels he's been forced to become part of the huge cover-up, or even worse, he's also been replaced. In this video, I have presented you with overwhelming evidence that birds aren't real. What you do with that information is up to you. Thank you for watching.